So is the Attorney General right? Are we seeing a, quote, plague of teen violence? And if so, what is feeding it? Let's talk with Wendy Walsh now. She's a psychologist in Los Angeles. Thank you, Dr. Wendy Walsh, for joining us here today.
Thank you.
So the Attorney General says it is a plague. We're not sure what the exact numbers are. We'd have to do a lot more studying, and I'm not sure if officials know exactly, you know, if it's a trend or if we're just hearing more about it. But why do you think this is all going on?
Oh, yeah, we have to be careful for sure to use the words trend and plague because it's just that the media is bigger than ever. So we are getting to hear a lot about these incidents. But let's talk about what's behind these incidents. We're talking about teens that don't seem to have a lot of compassion or empathy for their fellow teens and are acting out in a way. And, you know, I think there are big cultural trends that have led to this. You know, I like to say that feminism got in bed with capitalism and gave birth to consumerism, which means that parents are off working. So who's raising the kids?
Hey, you bring a very good point, because I had a panel. We're doing a special this weekend called, you know, Black Men in the Age of Obama. We talked about parents being in the home, and that was an issue for African-American families. And one woman said during that panel, well, it was a rise of feminism because it took women out of the home, and she goes, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's the truth. So you're speaking to that as well. Why do you say that?
Absolutely. I think that feminism was a fabulous thing because it liberated masculine energy in women and gave us a little bit of parity on the economic playing field, but it did a bit of a disservice to both our love lives and our families because last week Time Magazine's poll on women said that less than 30% of kids in America today have a parent at home, whereas in 1975 virtually all kids did. And yet 65% of Americans think that is a negative. Well, what are they doing about it? You know?
Well, here's the thing. It seems like what you're saying is that it's really home training. It starts in the home when you say all this. So at the very bottom line here, at the base, is it what is taught in the home?
I think that no matter what we try to teach our children, the truth is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So the way to parent well and to teach compassion and ethics and morals is to be a moral person yourself. Okay, that's important.
All right, doctor, let's talk about this, because this is, I'm reading from CNN.com here, and they, criminology and psychology experts say that there could be a variety of reasons why the crime wasn't reported. We're talking about the bystanders here, right?
Oh, the bystander
Several
effect.
pointed out this problem, a social phenomenon known as bystander effect.
Yes.
Bystander
effect involves two things. It was first identified back in 1964 when poor Kitty Genovese outside of an apartment building in New York was murdered, and 38 people supposedly heard or saw it. What happens is when the group gets together, our brains look at each other for consensus. Well, they're not doing anything, so maybe I shouldn't be doing anything. What are we supposed to do here? And they depend on the group psychology to decide what to do. Secondly, there's a diffusion of responsibility. They look around and go, well, it's not there's more people here who should be doing something. So, in fact, whether someone will call 911 is inversely related to the number of people. So the more people you have watching, the less likely it is that someone will call for help.
Dr. Wendy Walsh, you're great. We can talk about this on and on and on here, but the bottom line is parents, caregivers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, teachers know what the kids are doing and try to instill in them some basic discipline and the meaning of life, right?
And also traditional religions. You know, as we're seeing the decline of traditional religions, they used to perform a very important function for the majority of our society, which is to instill morals. They were the big moral teachers. And now more Americans call themselves spiritual rather than religious. Well, you know what? You can't teach morals if you're sitting on the side of a mountain meditating, all right, people? You have to live it and walk it, and it's in the tiny lessons that we give our children by our behavior.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Dr. Wendy Walsh. Okay? Now I want to know what you think. Tweet us with your take on violence against kids, by kids, and I'll read your comments on the air just a little bit later on this hour.